Vice Media, they have gone bankrupt, and they're now trying to sell themselves to their lenders, one of which is Soros Fund Management. Okay. I thought this was so funny. You kind of can't make this stuff up, right? Because Soros, I mean, everyone talks about get woke, go broke, right? With Vice. I mean, they're kind of one of those woke companies, and Soros obviously is the guy who funds most of the, well, he's the biggest Democrat donor, put it that way. He's the biggest donor to left-wing, super PACs and political parties and stuff. So yeah, Vice Media. And, obviously, Elon, if you didn't see Elon Musk's tweet, it was very funny. It's like, it's been a while since they made any quality content. And you've got this, there we go. I don't want to say the name of it, but you've got this video about relationships between humans and donkeys, which very bizarre. But I guess, it's called Vice. So it's, yeah, they covered some pretty dark and twisted stuff throughout their time. But anyway, here, let's take a look at this from the Wall Street Journal. So Vice Media is nearing a deal for senior lenders, including Fortress Investment Group and Soros Fund Management, to acquire the troubled media company out of bankruptcy at a valuation of around $400 million, according to people familiar with the matter. Okay, it's always people familiar with the matter, but anyway, that's the Wall Street Journal's exclusive report. I guess they got the scoop on that. But check this out, Mike. Vice, it was valued at, I think it was $5.7 billion in 2017. Okay, supposedly valued at $5.7 billion, and its latest valuation has now been reduced to just $400 million.
I don't even think they're worth $400 million. I mean, I remember when Vice came out, and I was like, "Well, this is pretty interesting. This is hard hitting stuff." They're going in and doing all the drug stuff, looking at all the the degenerate stuff of our society, and kind of really breaking it down for people. And then over the last 10 years, it's just gotten pretty bad, and that was like the first 2 years where you're like, okay, wow, this is pretty legitimate. And now when you go on Device, you're like, I just feel like I'm gonna throw up. Like, what is this?
Yeah. It's I remember their North Korea video. Do you remember that from like 11 years ago? He goes on a vacation to North Korea, and that was actually the founder, Shane, the founder of Vice, and it was really good. He like goes on vacation, it was really cool. But now it just seems like they're really capitalizing on the degenerate stuff to hook you in, like taboo topics, and it's pretty disgusting, some of it. And B, they did get woke, go broke kind of thing. I mean, they're pretty woke, to be honest.
Absolutely. If you're going to be a documentary-based film company, you can't just focus on left-wing topics or right-wing topics. You need to present what is going on with the documentary. It's supposed to document the happenings of the world, not to present some kind of position of left or right. So that I think that's a big problem, is that they didn't realize that their audience really wasn't left and it really wasn't right. It was people looking for information on subjects that were not heavily followed.
Yeah, and they also, of course, lost Trump. A lot of media, when Trump went out of office, they got in trouble because Trump was their biggest cash cow, reporting on Trump. And you see BuzzFeed News going out of business, and now Vice going out of business. All of the ratings of other TV channels like CNN tanking as well, as soon as he went out of office. Another thing that happened to Vice, actually also pretty recently, was that they had this deal with a Greek broadcaster called Antenna Group, and they terminated their years-long multi-million-dollar contract to buy news content from Vice. And this was supposedly a bit of a lifeline to Vice, that they had this contract with this Greek broadcaster, because they were actually broadcasting their news stories in Greece, buying it. And yeah, that was terminated, which kind of complicated their bankruptcy a bit more. It makes the company less attractive to buyers, and they had to restructure their news division. And then this pushed, so there's two companies that are looking to buy it. It's Fortress and Soros Fund Management, which are the lenders to Vice. Soros Fund Management started in 1970 by Soros. Fortress, it's another venture capital global investment company.
Is this another front? Soros hedge fund is the most. I couldn't even tell you, like, how do you get 20% returns 40 years or strong?
He's the most profitable hedge fund in the world with an average of 20% returns every year.
Like, you want to put your money somewhere, you know it's going to grow. I mean, I guess you go with that guy. You're going to win, but I don't know. I don't trust it still. You know, like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
20% year over year. I wonder if the guy's a billionaire. You know?
And another thing I thought was kind of funny is actually a few months ago when they wound down BuzzFeed News, this was the headline in the Wall Street Journal: BuzzFeed News is shutting down. Vice World News could be next, right? They sort of foretold what eventually happened, because now this week, Vice, of course, into bankruptcy and now trying to get bought. I blame the donkeys.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. It's definitely the donkeys that caused the problems. I mean, want to hear something crazy? Fortress Investment Group LLC was founded as a private equity firm in 1998 by Wesley R. Edens, a former partner at, can you guess? BlackRock.
Oh, yeah. The company that controls everything.
Yeah, he is a former partner at BlackRock, and he's the one looking to pull Vice out of bankruptcy with George Soros. Is fun. No coincidence there. That's why you always just gotta ask those little questions. Who owns this other company? What's really going on here? Well, it's one of the former partners at BlackRock.
I think, and I think personally, Vice could end up just being a worthless company, though, because obviously the sort of right wing people they don't watch it anymore because it's woke, and probably a lot of the left wing people, they watched it during Trump's presidency because it was bashing Trump, but now Trump's gone, they don't have that major catalyst now, and a lot of other stuff that they put, it's just so degenerate, and I don't think the world is really moving in that direction anymore. I think actually there's really something to be said for quality content that uplifts people rather than degenerate content. So, and Mike, one more thing about Vice and the founding of Vice that will blow your mind. Okay, so the other guy, in addition to Shane, the other founder of Vice Media, Gavin McInnes, is also the founder of the Proud Boys. Can you believe that?
What? It's crazy.
Yeah.
Talk about controlled
opposition. Look it up. The Proud Boys are always the one that everyone calls out. You can't make this stuff up,
So this guy's the founder of Proud Boys and the founder of Vice News?
And Vice. Yeah, the founder of a woke left-wing media and the so-called right-wing, white supremacist or whatever group, the Proud Boys.
Who's really in charge of this world? I'm starting to wonder now.
I start to think that any organization you hear of in the media that's being spoken about a lot by CNN or or whoever is not the real organization. It's just something that's been part of the narrative, allegedly.
Wow.
Part of a show.
It's mind-blowing.